How's your weekend been? What did you do this weekend? Did you binge watch a new original? There's no dearth of content online. And where did you do it? There are way too many streaming services to choose from, and I'm sure most of you have subscriptions to 2 or 3 of them, probably 4. Some are just happy with Netflix, have a friend who pays for Disney Plus, and another who shares their Amazon Prime account. But are we willing to burn our pockets for each of these streaming services? Well, most of you would say it's a choice. But then what defines this choice? Is it the money or the content? And I ask this because your choice is running a multi-billion-dollar industry, one that is producing the best of cinema and the very worst. And above everything else, this industry may be killing the older modes of entertainment. Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay. Let's start with an acknowledgement. Television viewing is eroding. Cable boxes are becoming outdated. The world is switching to internet-based streaming, OTT platforms, over-the-top entertainment. 2020 was a game changer for this industry. As cinema halls gathered dust, streaming platforms penetrated our lives. There were predictions that this would happen, but the pandemic accelerated the switch. The OTT market has grown from 1.9 billion users worldwide in 2019 to 2.1 in 2020. And this figure is expected to reach 2.2 billion this year and 2.7 billion by 2025. For the sake of perspective, that's more than the combined population of Africa. And this is how the revenue has grown. From $83 billion in 2019, it went to $99 billion in 2020. By 2025, this figure is expected to reach $167 billion. $167 billion. This is more than the GDP of, say, Nepal and Sri Lanka combined. All I'm saying is that streaming services have become the new age cable companies, or even bigger. They have every language, every genre, and something for every age. Plus, they're convenient. They're ad-free. The options are tailored to your taste. And you don't have to watch the same film every alternate Sunday. You can choose. You can pick from a pool of original and never seen before bingeable content. TV shows you wouldn't have even heard of otherwise. Take Money Heist, for example, a Spanish thriller that initially flopped on television. Today, it has become a cultural currency of sorts, attracting millions of viewers in almost every language. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking that the platforms these shows are airing on are only being used by the younger generation. But let me show you some figures. And these are from India. A State of Seniors survey was conducted in January this year. All respondents were above 60 years of age, senior citizens. The question was, do they prefer OTT platforms over TV? And at least 65.7% of the respondents said they did, mostly for news channels and classics from their heydays. What does this tell you? That streaming is no longer limited to certain age groups or to certain countries. The United States is far ahead, yes. Netflix is the topper in the classroom indeed, but it is not the undisputed king. Others are catching up. In France, in Spain, in Germany, in China, OTT platforms are gaining popularity and almost cannibalizing television. India too is experiencing an impressive expansion. In the last 5 to 6 years, a host of streaming platforms have emerged. The Sony Live, JioCinema, ZEE5, Voot, Eros Now, Alt Balaji, and many more platforms are slated to launch in the days ahead. It's like a global streaming war that has begun. Every country is laying out its cards. The question is, who will win this war and what will win this war? Is it content or is it data? Perhaps a mix of both. I'll start with content. You see, storytelling is not a commodity, it's an art. And not everyone can do it well. Not every filmmaker is Nolan. Not every film is an immersive experience. If you don't have something new to offer, you stand to lose. Platforms like Netflix, Prime, and Disney Plus understand this, and they're investing in new talent and new stories. They're attracting local producers and independent filmmakers to stay relevant. They have the scale and the money to pull this off. They also have the expertise. And this is where data comes into the picture. The streaming giants are personalizing customer experience, using your viewing patterns to customize their content. According to a report by Capgemini, Netflix is using 2,000 taste communities. This is to curate content based on the preferences in different regions. And this helps them in coming up with shows that match your taste, suggestions that would intrigue you, thumbnails and teasers that grab your attention, or simply a list of what's trending in your country. They're making smart use of data to enrich their platforms. It's no longer just about the brand, the platform, or the price. It's about what these platforms have to offer. Once a viewer learns to navigate the space, he or she will find a way to watch what they want. For most, the platform itself does not really matter. So most streaming giants are pitching shows with a USP, a unique selling point. For instance, HBO Max is coming up with the Friends reunion. It's a show that stopped airing in the year 2004. Why are they showing it now? Because we're still watching it. According to a report by Nielsen, Friends was the most watched sitcom during the pandemic with 96.7 billion minutes viewed. 96.7 billion. Trust me, we were never on a break with this show. What do these trends tell you? The streaming giants are in it to win it. They will buy anything, they will do anything to keep the audiences engaged. They will also join forces if they have to, and some of them already have. In many countries, broadcasters and OTT platforms have launched joint ventures. In France, M6, France TV and TF1 have come up with Salto. In Britain, the BBC, ITV and Channel 4 have mended fences and launched BritBox. It's a similar story in Germany, where Discovery has partnered with a mass media company and launched Join. And the same story in Spain, where 3 leading broadcasters have joined hands to launch this, whatever they call it. Do you see what's happening? The streaming wars are slowly becoming takeover wars. The mother of all takeovers, one that could change the landscape of this industry, is just around the corner. You might have heard of this. AT&T, the owner of HBO, Warner Brothers Studios and CNN, is teaming up with Discovery, which is home to channels like Animal Planet and TLC. Together, they will form a standalone global entertainment and media business. And this will by far be the biggest of its kind venture. It will come to life next year. The name will be disclosed next week. For now, let's look at the sheer scale of this merger. We have 2 of the most powerful movie studios in Hollywood. They're behind the Harry Potter and Batman franchises. We have a news network that claims to be present in 212 countries and regions. And we have a television company that runs shows on science, history and nature. Now look at the services that they've employed for this merger. They're using the expertise of Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan and LionTree, 3 of the biggest financial firms in the world. Is this the future of media and entertainment? A multi-purpose, multi-genre, hybrid streaming platform that offers everything one can think of? It could be. There are already reports of more such mergers. Amazon is reportedly in talks for a merger with MGM. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, whose Roaring Lion has been the introduction to some of the greatest films ever made. This deal will turn Prime Video into an even bigger platform. Where will these mergers leave the others? This plan will obviously make the field more competitive. It might also kill the competition. With the streaming giants taking away all the big studios, the choices for others will be limited. Most of them will be restricted to certain languages or certain countries. And to survive, these platforms will have to up their game and reinvent constantly. They can do this either through investments in mergers or by producing content that is fresh and meaningful. New experiments have been welcomed by the audience. You don't have to be a mega star to be a super hit anymore. You don't need expensive production. New ideas and imaginative execution are doing the trick. Disruptors are winning big. Old formulas are failing to click. New revenue models are being explored. People have shown that they will pay for content that's worthwhile. The entertainment industry the world over is in a flux. And as it consolidates with big players making their moves, new rules are sure to be set. The future of entertainment is as much about technology as about content, if not more. Happy watching.